Thank you very much for attending our first meeting of the Club Excellence Series, which we are offering to all club officers of District 53. We are here to help you succeed. Our schedule is shown here. We have approximately 7 meetings between now and June 30th. Tonight, we'll be discussing the first pillar of Moments of Truth, which is called First Impressions. On January 14th, we'll be discussing the second pillar of Moments of Truth, which is called Membership Orientation. On February 11th, we will have a very special meeting where Michael Whitehouse will present his own material on how to manage social media. We are very grateful that he will be joining us on February 11th. You can see March, April, and May, several other pillars of the Moments of Truth, and either I or other experienced Toastmasters will be able to present this information to you that is based on the Moments of Truth and other helpful resources from Toastmasters International. The training structure for these meetings, we are planning for approximately 60 minutes. We seek to present Moments of Truth information with a variety of topics and helpful resources for approximately 30 minutes. We will highlight additional club officer tools for another 10 minutes, and we will have 10 minutes for questions and answers. Okay, let's begin. I don't know if I can move this. Let's see. Yes, I can. All right, bring that down there. Okay. All right. And so now we've got this over there. Okay. Whoops. All right. We're going to go back. Moments of Truth. Our first tool that we would like to highlight for our club officers and members is the Find a Club tool. On the Toastmasters International website, for people who have not joined yet, there is a tool called Find a Club. And you may enter, for example, a zip code or a postal code and search for clubs in your area. With that in mind, it is very important for all club officers to ensure that your contact information and meeting location is updated in the Club Central portion of the Toastmasters International website. The Find a Club tool uses your zip code to help search for clubs in the area of the person who is requesting that information. Something that was announced very recently is called the Prospective Member Tool on the Toastmasters International website. For a long time, the Find a Club tool would receive information. A person who is interested in a club would enter name, email address, perhaps phone number, and then an email would be sent to the email address specified in the club information on the Toastmasters International website. One of the difficulties that some folks have found is that if an officer who is just coming into a role did not successfully update the club email address to point at the current president, then perhaps a Find a Club email was going to a former officer or some other incorrect email address. So what the Toastmasters International team has done is they have created something that they call the Prospective Member Tool. All of the information, when someone requests a Find a Club query, and then they select your club, obviously they're presented with a list saying, okay, this town or that town, or this date and time of meeting, and each person who is using the Find a club tool can choose to say, okay, I want to contact this club. And when they do that, their information will now appear in a prospective member tool that is stored on the Toastmasters International website. This will allow more than one club officer to see the prospective members who have made requests, and if one particular officer is away on travel or is unavailable for some other reason, other club officers can see that information in Club Central, and then they can respond to prospective members. Each officer who responds to a user will need to record the actions that you take in the tool. And for example, I just wrote a sentence here saying, oh, I called this prospective member on a certain date, and I invited that member to our club. And I am going to, let's see here, we're dealing on page 4, but I'm going to launch out here, and we're going to toastmasters.org. And I need to log in, and we will see how that goes. And I will go this way, and I will go this way. And so hopefully now I am logged in. Now, well, okay. Maybe I need a fellow club officer to help me, because I am allowed to see District Central, but I am not allowed to see Club Central. So I'm not certain. Okay, leads and prospective clubs. All right, let's find out what that looks like. This is under district management, but I'm interested to know whether Toastmasters International has performed the same thing. Okay, so this is good. So this is not exactly the same. This is under District Central, but I can say that it is similar to what an individual club might see. For example, these contacts are considering starting a club. Now, some of these date created go back a little way, and I will say that our club growth director is certainly interacting with a number of these prospective members. And so we have a primary contact, we have a status, we have a last activity, date created, the email of the person who has requested a contact from Toastmasters International, or at least from District 53, and then a particular district officer who is assigned to this particular task. And so I admit that we can say this is closed, saying, okay, this is the name. Anyway, let me see if I say pending intro. Okay, we'll just say they are providing a little bit of information, and either a district officer or a club officer can see prospective members, whether they are seeking to contact and visit a club or seeking to start a new club. If it's seeking to visit an existing club, the club officers will receive the information from the Find a Club tool. If it's someone who's seeking to start a new club, then the district officers will see the information in this tool. Okay? Okay. And we'll come back here. All right. So that is the Find a Club tool. Any questions on that? You can type something in the chat or raise your hand if you have a question. And if not, I will proceed. Okay. Seeing no hands, I will go to the next. Another helpful resource for club officers. There may be a lot of clubs that provide meetings in a hybrid format. Certainly, over the past several years, a number of clubs have decided to meet in a hybrid or virtual format. Obviously, we're meeting here on Zoom, and there are certainly other district meetings that occur on Zoom, such as club officer training, district executive council, and so on. It may be that you have a club that meets in a virtual fashion using online tools, and it's very difficult to hand a piece of paper to your prospective member or guest. And so this tool will provide an alternative to a hard copy packet. It is a website, and I can visit that website here in a moment. On that website, you will see they have a number of questions that a prospective member may ask to say, okay, what is Toastmasters? Or what can I expect in a meeting? How can I start learning now? What does the club experience offer? I am choosing to exit my presentation for a moment, and now I'm going to obtain this link, and I'm going to copy the link, and we're going to go to that link and show you what is offered by Toastmasters International at that page. And so here it is. This is a website that is provided by Toastmasters International, and we can say, what is Toastmasters? And a little box will pop up, and this has some information so that a prospective member can learn more about what Toastmasters is. Okay, and then we can say, what's in it for me? And again, another box with text at the top, and also some possible options for learning more. Oh, how can I build confidence for public speaking? And we say Toastmasters clubs present speaking opportunities at every meeting, and many more options that a prospective member could learn about what Toastmasters may bring for the prospective member. And you could say, what can I expect in a meeting? This is apparently there's a video. I'm not going to choose to watch the video right now, but a prospective member could do that and learn more about what a Toastmasters club meeting is like. So you get the idea. There's about 8 questions here. And so if you're looking for a resource to send to someone who's a prospective member who's going to attend a virtual meeting, and you can't hand them a piece of paper, you can send them this link. Okay? Okay. All right then. Any questions? You can raise your hand. And if I see no hands, then I will proceed to the next page. The third resource that I wish to present to you is a prospective member conversion guide. Certainly, many people may reach out to Toastmasters, and those prospective members wish to learn more about Toastmasters. It's very important that officers respond to prospective members promptly, because depending on when the person requests information and when the response is received, people may lose interest and may be disappointed. We want to make a good first impression to a prospective member. Certainly, if they're walking into our club meeting for the very first time, that's one important way that we can talk about first impressions. But this is also a first impression when someone is asking about the club, but the club meeting date has not yet arrived. It's certainly important. In this website, it reminds us of many things. We need to make sure that our Find a Club information is up to date and accurate, with good, with correct contact information. We want to create a communications monitoring program. There are 7 officers in every club, in the ideal case, and perhaps it is the vice president of membership who monitors the web page on the Toastmasters International website to say, oh, I have a prospective member, and this person's contacted me 2 days ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago. Anyway, we want to make sure, certainly there may be emails that still comes to the club officers when someone asks for a Find a Club, for a contact using the Find a Club tool, but we want to make sure that we respond promptly and professionally to all inquiries. And we want to seek to establish a prospect follow-up plan and try to follow up with the member after a club visit. I could visit this website, but I am here to say that at least 5 of these points came from that website, and there's a little bit more information there, but it is a helpful resource for all club officers and members to make sure that we are responding promptly and giving prospective members a good first impression. If there are any questions, you would please raise your hand. And if I have no questions, I will go to the next page. Prospective member follow-up email. This is another resource provided by Toastmasters International, and this is something that can help you with step 5 from the last page. How do you follow up after a club visit? I could certainly, whoops, no, all right. Anyway, this document contains a sample email response to a prospective member. If you visit this page, you will be able to download a Word document which has a sample email response. You can take that information and customize it for your club, certainly with the date and time of your club meetings, your club name, your club location, and other details such as that. I can certainly bring up that resource by exiting my presentation, copying that link, and coming over here, and we will post a new link in here. And so, one moment, please. Okay, so this is a resource provided by Toastmasters International. It does not have a cost. Obviously, you need to download it, and then I can download that file. All right, so that's an example website at the moment. I encourage you to examine that resource. Okay. Okay. Any questions here? All right. I'm going to go on to the next page. This is another resource that Toastmasters International provides. We want to make sure that we are putting on a good show. Sometimes we may have special events, such as a contest. Speech contests may be happening in our clubs in the months of November and December, and we want to make sure that prospective members, new members, and everyone has a good first impression by hosting a good quality event. Coordination of training programs is another situation where certainly you have a speech contest. You might have the District 53 conference, which is coming up on May 16th and 17th, 2025, held in Troy, and we encourage you to come. And there may be other training programs, such as working with fellow Toastmasters in my club. I coordinated a Speechcraft training class earlier in April, May, and June of 2024. And so this guide can be a very helpful resource. I'm going to, whoops, all right. I'm going to go back one page. I'm going to grab that link and I'm going to copy it. And we're going to copy it. Yep. Yes, we are. There we go, copy. And so then we come here and we open a new one. And here we go. Okay, we're going to put on a good show. And so again, we download this document and there it is. Okay, I admit that my browser is in dark mode. So some of these pictures may not look as they would if they were printed on nice white paper, but it talks about how to plan events, selecting the right site, planning a successful conference, staging a successful speech contest. There's quite a few pages written about that, closing out your meeting. So this resource is here and it is available for everyone. It is 63 pages, so we are not going to cover all of that tonight, but I encourage you to examine this resource. Any questions here? Seeing no hands, I'm going to go to the next page. There is a club quality checklist that is also provided as a resource by Toastmasters International. It occurred in a magazine in 2019, and this club quality checklist is a downloadable resource that I can certainly bring up on the screen in a moment, but it has a number of questions. And we'll just say that several of these questions I have brought to this slide here. As you look at your meeting, trying to determine, are we providing a good first impression? Is your meeting location conveniently located, accessible, and user-friendly? Certainly, there may be many different people from different walks of life who wish to join your Toastmasters meeting. We want to make sure that people can find it and that people can successfully travel there. Are the program and agenda publicized via email or a club website in advance? That's an important step. Certainly, if you have a virtual club, publishing the agenda in advance via email is an important step. Do club meetings start and end on time? We want to be respectful of everyone's time, club members as well as prospective members, and so we certainly strive to start and end our meetings on time. Does the meeting follow an agenda? Certainly the purpose of publishing the agenda in advance is to provide a good member experience. Whether it's for a guest or for an existing club member, we want to follow the agenda so that people understand where we are at every stage of the meeting. Does every member wear a name badge? Certainly, if you're a prospective member and you're entering a room with a collection of people you may never have met, you would like to know people's names. We recommend that people wear name badges either on your person or perhaps a tent that could be placed on the table in front of you if you happen to have a place where you are sitting around a table in a meeting room. Finding ways for your prospective members and guests to make friends and learn people's names is a good and important way for them to feel welcome. Are all guests and members warmly greeted and welcomed? We want to make sure that we welcome our guests and make them feel welcome. And are all guests introduced to others? That's another important step to say, okay, a club officer should certainly greet a person that is new in the room to say, oh, I haven't met you before. Hi, my name is, and then you introduce yourself and begin to make an acquaintance. And you can certainly introduce that prospective member to others nearby, other fellow club members or club officers, to help the prospective member and guest to feel welcome. There's certainly more questions in that document. It goes for about 3 pages, and I could bring that document up if you would like. And I will try that by copying that link, and I will open this with another tab, and we'll bring up the club quality checklist. And so this is a simple page which just provides a download checklist button at the end, and we'll see how that goes. And now there we are downloading up. All right, well, it's a zip file, and so we have to expand it. And let's see, did I do that? I did. So thankfully I expanded this document a little bit earlier. So here is what this document looks like as it is displayed on my screen. You can evaluate your club with this easy tool. These first 7 questions should look familiar because I brought them from this document into my slide, but the questions continue talking about a friendly and pleasant atmosphere, talking about a meeting location That's easy to find. Making sure your information on Find a Club is updated. We certainly covered that earlier in this meeting. And there are more questions that continue talking about programs, interesting and varied, evaluations positive, speeches well prepared. These questions do relate to other pillars of the Moments of Truth, and we will certainly cover some of these questions in future meetings. Certainly, having a program that is interesting and varied is one of the other pillars of the Moments of Truth, and we will cover that in more detail at another meeting in the future. I'm just going to scroll down and say, okay, if a club officer or a club member is trying to answer these questions with yes and no to say, okay, are there ways we can improve? There we go. This is another possible topic, membership. We want to have membership goals, guests invited to join club, new members assigned a mentor, following Toastmasters on social media, educational activities, and so on. There are a number of questions, and this resource is helpful, and I highly recommend it to you. All righty. Any questions here? I will go to the next slide. Additional resources, which we hope that all club members are familiar with. Certainly, there is the Club Leadership Handbook, and if you are a new club officer, there are many pages describing all of the different club officer roles, from president to vice president education, to vice president of membership, to secretary, treasurer, and more. We encourage you to explore this resource on the Toastmasters website. Also, when you are a club officer, there are many tools available to you, learning about meeting roles, learning about other resources. We encourage you to visit this website. There are a number of club officer tools which you may download. Could be documents or other items for to help you as you seek to help your club succeed. The Club Success Plan, which I trust was covered in our club officer training in the summertime. This is a link to the Club Success Plan. We encourage all club officers to meet together as an executive board to help fill out the Club Success Plan. There are sections which correspond to each particular officer and each particular role, and there are also sections that talk about how the officers work together to achieve the many different goals that are a part of the Distinguished Club program. Any questions here? Okay. If we wish to have a roundtable discussion, we could certainly have introductions from people who would like to talk about this, and questions and answers. So my clock shows around 8:35. The floor is open for questions. I'm going to stop the share. Thank you, everyone, for attending this meeting. I appreciate your time, and we are certainly open to questions and answers to help you and your club succeed.